listeners are
she'll love
dying
it
to
for
hear
sure.
about Taylor's wedding.
Yeah.
I'm dying to hear. Tell us, what do you want to say?
So basically, everything went super well. The wedding itself, like for the actual ceremony, we tried to like take all the things we didn't like about other people's weddings, which was namely like having to go and getting
combine
rid of
them into yours. Oh,
and combine it. Well, like my dad's side of the family is Catholic, and if you've ever gone to a Catholic wedding, it takes fucking forever. There's so many readings. There's so many. You're kneeling, you're standing, you're kneeling, you're standing. And we were doing it outside in June, and it's more humid in St. Louis than people might guess. And so we were like, all right, it's got to. She like gave me a couple of the ceremonies to read through. And they all had like the amount of time each one takes. It was like 15 minutes, 14 minutes, 14 minutes, 13 minutes, 12 minutes. I grabbed the 12-minute one. It was like that because I was dreading getting all doused in sweat. And so for the ceremony itself, we didn't invite anybody at all other than immediate family. Like no cousins, like cousins would ask. And it's like, no, we're not opening the floodgates. It's just immediate family. So like literally my brothers, my dad, my dad's wife, and then my grandparents. And my grandpa on my dad's side's dead, so, but my grandma isn't, so she was there. And then my wife's immediate family knocked it out in like 12 minutes. And even before, like when we proposed, like later that night, or when I proposed later that night, we both got drunk and we just were talking around like, who do we want to officiate our ceremony? And I have this very funny friend of mine who's one of my best friends, and I was like, that'd be a lark if we just had him do it and had him become a minister. And so like I just drunk texted him that night and was like, want to officiate our wedding? And he was like, hell yeah, dude. And so we just had him do it. He became a minister and everything. And my wife, she wanted a little bit of religious stuff in there. And I'm like, I like that, throw God in there, makes it seem more serious. Like read something from Corinthians. But like as it was going, First Corinthians and the such, and love your wife as the Lord loves the church and such, boilerplate. And like as it's going, it's such a small group of people. There's no reason to have a microphone at all, and we're outdoors. And this fucking horrible DJ was like in the back, like trying to get a mic to work for my buddy who was doing the officiating. And even in the beginning, like I was like, "Hey, Matt, can you just talk loud enough?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is easy as shit." And then as he was saying that, the mic turned on. I'm like, "All right, we'll give it a go, I guess." So this idiot who just spent all this time setting it up, we get to like right before. First of all, by the time like my brothers and her sibling, everybody's sitting down, I'm already dripping sweat. I'm so fucked. It's 94 degrees outside. 94 degrees. I'm a sweater.
How much prosciutto had you had for breakfast?
I don't see why that's either here nor there. But a decent amount. There was definitely lunch meat to be had. And so like as we're about to do the vows and stuff, that like middle of like Wednesday afternoon kind of gathering in high school where like the mic goes like that happens right before, and then like he's like fixing it, and like me and the officiant, like my buddy, are just like, just turn it off, just turn it off, and the guy just turned it off, and then we did the rest normally. Went off really well. I thought the sweating was going to occur during the ceremony. It was actually the hour and a half of photos outside afterward. But I had a high IQ maneuver that morning. On the morning of my wedding, I went to Kohl's and bought 2 more shirts, backup shirts for when I sweated through. I only needed one, surprisingly, but we finished that. And we used the same venue for our ceremony as we did for the reception. So like that was our thing, is like just immediate family at the ceremony, and then have our friends and everything come for the reception. That was a ton of fun. The only thing I was like adamant about was like, I don't want a bunch of pomp and circumstance. I don't want speeches really. We'll do the first dance stuff because that's nice and quick. And I enjoyed that. But I don't want speeches. I don't want toasts. I just want like people to get their food and then sit down and eat. And then we do our little first dance and everybody socializes, plays games outside, talks, catches up. And it ended up being exactly that. It was fucking perfect. It was great. And the DJ was acting like a little weird throughout the night, like kind of jumpy and stuff. And I didn't see this. It was after I had gone outside to do like Woody knows, he's married. You end up doing like the rounds where it's like, I can't wait to like talk to my friends and hang out. It's like, nope, bitch, you're talking to every single person that's here. Yeah. And so you do that. And then I was talking to a buddy later in the evening, and he was like, hey, did you notice anything about your DJ? And I'm like, yeah, he like disappeared a few times. And he's like, yeah, I walked in the bathroom and he was standing next to the counter, and he just, as soon as he heard me open it, he went, hey, what's up? And apparently he kept dipping off into the fucking bathroom and doing coke, and that's not the vibe. That's not the vibe of the wedding. that's not the environment. Yes, it was. That's not the environment we're trying. Well, he's trying to make that the vibe, but that's not the environment we're trying to cultivate. It was him doing fucking cocaine in the bathroom. and he was all right, I suppose. The all that went fine. Like the reception, everything, not that much else to say. It was great. We had a wonderful time. And then the honeymoon, we went to, we had one day off after the wedding, and then we headed to Jamaica for a week, which was a blast. And the whole time I was like, all right, I went to Jamaica like 8-9 years ago when my dad got remarried, and it was super easy to get weed. I hope it's that easy this time. Like, didn't know what to expect. And I like the porter, the guy that like carries your bags, like we get to the hotel or the resort rather, and he starts moving it all, and he starts telling me, he's like, you open up that pamphlet there, you can get yourself a free cigar down at the lounge. And I was like, a free cigar down at the lounge? Joseph, I don't smoke cigars, but I smoke ganja. Can you help me with some ganja? And this was 4 minutes after we got there. And he's like, yeah, man, you just come up here. And I'm like, how much is it? And he's like, $50, $60, $70. And I'm like, which one though?
Such a Jamaican leprechaun, by the way.
Yeah, I can't do Jamaican. I'm doing my best. It's a hard one for me for some reason. But anyway, I tell him, and I'm like, how much is it? Like, do you guys do grams? Like, what is the amount? And he's like, I'm gonna level with you, man. Just give me like 50, 60, 70. I bring it back to you. And I was like, all right. So I gave him $70. He leaves, and every time that happens, I'm like, have I been taken for a fool? And then no, immediately he comes back, and it was like maybe a slight bit less than a quarter. Slight bit less than a quarter. So not too bad. But it was in like a fake pharmacy pack. Like they had clearly put it into a pharmacy pack and like resealed it. And like I don't know how they did it, but they did that. And it was like so clearly not pharmaceutical grade weed. There were seeds in it. But
oh dear.
And then like going around the resort, they're selling pieces, they're selling chillums and all like little stores. And so I just get one of those. And so the whole week I'm just grinding that up and smoking. And people apparently spreads like wildfire around there. Like, hey, this guy, he'll buy it. He'll buy it. So like approach him. And so I was like I felt like a princess like all week. Like I have members of the resort being like, hey, you want some hash oil, man? And I'm like,
I got to
easier. And then
you're actually a mark, by the way.
Oh, I'm
sure. I think you bought like $5 or $10 worth of weed for 70, and they're like, yo, this is the guy. And they're like, bring it. They're like, I got shit too, man. Get it. This is $48 right here. $48. I think that's what they were.
Maybe. I mean, maybe like $10 there, but I know what weed amounts.
It sounds like a win-win.
It was about a little less than a quarter for about 70.
Listen, I would be going, being like, yo, I don't want trouble with anyone. I don't want to end up on anyone's bad list. Here's a couple bucks for you and your buddies. Just let's get it over.
Oh no, the guy, I gave him the $70, and like when he came back, like I threw him a 20 just for like maybe like $25 just for going to grab it.
Oh,
so, like,
he's telling everyone.
He's telling everyone. Like this guy gave me a great tip, and I don't give a fuck. It's my honeymoon. I got some cash to burn, and so like maybe 3 days later, this like random woman who works there walks up, and she's like, you want anything that's not smokable? And I was like, you got edibles like gummies or anything? And she's like, let me see. And so like. Nothing happens the rest of the day. I assume she forgot. It was like 8 a.m. the next day. I'm sitting drinking coffee on the balcony, looking at the ocean, like reading my Stormlight Archive book. And I just hear this Jamaican lady who's like looking up like, hey. And I was like, hey. And I was like, hello, like, can I help you? I forgot who it was because I was probably, drinking the evening before. And she was like, I got what you need. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, what did I ask her for?
She's been baking cookies all night.
And so I came down there, and she like has this big container of gummy bears, like not gummy bears, like gummy cubes, like clearly homemade gummy cubes. And like I like smell it to make sure it even smells like Kush. I'm like, okay, this smells like real edibles. And she's like, $30. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Gave her $30, and I left it in our little beach bag. And this little pouch, all of the gummies melted into a jelly. And now there's no way to know how much you're having. And so like the next morning, like we were getting ready to go to breakfast or out to the beach, and I wanted to eat some edibles. Or I guess this was right after this, or no, the next morning after it had melted, and I was scooping it out. And like I was like eating it like an army ration with a spoon out of it. And I was just trying to eyeball like, oh, it tastes like just weed. Oh, it's just terrible. There's no flavor. And I just ate like half the bag. And maybe 30 minutes later, I'm like, damn it, this is probably nothing. And then I genuinely got pretty way higher than I thought I was going to eating those edibles. And so that was a win.
That's how every edible story goes.
Yeah, I was I thought it was going to be a week of a lot more drinking, but once like the pot started flowing, it was like, this is kind of nice.
I like that better actually. I like.
And they only have Red Stripe there, and Red Stripe tastes like shit. That's the beer.
Tastes like shit.
Yeah. And even when I had a mixed drink, I had one mixed drink the whole time on the first day. Like this table next to us, this nice couple were like, try a Bob Marley. And I'm like, okay. And I got one of those and I'm like, there's like 3 shots of liquor, some heavy-handed Jamaican guys trying to get me fucked up to get tips. And so I was like, this is risky. This is going to ruin my week. And so I just was drinking Red Stripe the whole time, but it was so fucking hot that after every like 11-ounce Red Stripe, you'd have to drink 20 ounces of water. And so getting drunk was an absolute chore. There.
I like edible honeymoon
there were
better.
so many evenings.
You get a bottle of rum,
dude. We did get a bottle of rum. My wife was like, I ordered the room service because obviously unlimited room service, and they restock your bar. And she's like, I ordered a bottle of vodka and a bottle of rum, and they don't tell you prices. She thought she was getting little airplane bottles to like put in the drinks. She bought a liter of rum and a liter of vodka. We barely touched it because
how much were they?
I have no idea yet. probably
somewhere between
we didn't open the rum
and $300.
Yeah, we didn't open the rum, and so she brought it home. She had one vodka drink, and that was it. But yeah, mostly it was like getting stoned, really, really drilling the poor late night room service people. Like, I need another pizza with Jamaican jerk chicken on it. Or like, I need a whole Jamaican jerk meal. And I remember once them being like, yeah, and this is room A34. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, did you just order a jerk chicken up about 40 minutes ago? And I was like, I don't see why that matters. I ate so much jerk chicken. I was eating all sorts of shit. Turns out Jamaicans, they put pumpkin in everything. Very odd. You wouldn't expect that. But yeah, we had a blast. It was stoned as shit. We got a nice massage, went on some like off resort treks to like a waterfall area, which was nice. Except the waterfall thing was kind of fucking bullshit. I thought it was going to be like it was a really cool like tiered waterfall that was probably looking up at like 600 yards long, and like you started at the bottom and like through the water you trudged up it. Something they wouldn't allow in the US because people would slip and crack their head. And I was like imagining, like from the pictures, I'm like, this is gonna be so cool. Like I'll be able to like be on my own, like going up and exploring little nooks and crannies. No, the guy's like, all right, grab the hand of the person behind you, like boy, girl. And so like, bless her heart, she was so nice, but this morbidly obese woman was behind me. And so much of my trek,
fatty?
A huge fatty. And normally, whatever.
Disgusting.
Well, babe, I don't care, except that it's
fat
my
people
job.
make me sick.
Fat people in that context make me sick because I was having to take all my effort to pull her up onto these ledges. Like she's half a second from a broken ankle at any given point. And this fucking Jamaican tour guide could not give less of a fuck. He's walking around like clearly on something, keeps just yelling like, round here they call me Bigfoot. And I'm like, I know Bigfoot. Can you grab
he was
fat woman behind me?
He was hitting on her when he was saying that.
No, he was announcing it. Just he's 10
I thought he
yards
saw
away
that fatty and he was like, yeah, they call me Bigfoot.
No, he kept like walking over and being like, good job, man. Good job. He kept calling me like, he kept going, good job, boss, keeping everyone safe. And it's like, you're ruining my experience right now by making me have to heave this.
Were you high? Were you high?
I was really, really high.
That's great. I love that.
I feel like you're missing out. Like this is just pull day, Taylor. This is your specialty.
Pull day.
Yeah, okay, it was pull day, but it was like I wanted it to be like free climb, like walking around day. But no, that was not in the cards. It was like, and anytime I would get like a little bit ahead, I
bent over rows.
Yeah, really, some really intense bad form rows as you're standing on slippery rock.
I have a question. Was there any dead dogs when you were there on the street?
I didn't see it, but it's funny you say that. My wife, like on the way to the resort on the bus, she's like, "Oh my god, did you see that? A dead dog!" So she saw.
I went to Jamaica once, and I was not prepared to see I saw like 8 dead dogs in the 2 days I was there.
Oh,
on the street, and I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know that was part of it. And yeah, I mean, I know people that have been there like, yeah, I saw a dead dog where people didn't. And I just, I guess you did.
Dude, it was depressing. It was depressing as shit driving because, Jamaica, like outside resorts, it's a third world country. And so like, it's brutal driving. Like I was going to say 80% of the buildings are unfinished. That's actually really generous. I'd say like 90+% of the buildings, like you're driving by and it's like concrete with rebar still sticking out of the top. And there's so much unfinished that it's like, what's what is going on? Like what
Taylor,
happened?
you're looking at it through the wrong lens. That rebar is a testament to their ambition. Someday,
Someday.
they're gonna have a 2-story building. I see buildings without rebar. I'm like, that guy, he doesn't dream.
He's giving up.
He has no future.
Yeah, dude, I saw multiple restaurants where like they're clearly not worried about copyright law. I saw Jamaican TGI Fridays. But it was just a shack that a guy painted that on. It just said like
That's
green
so
paint
good.
Jamaican
Smart,
TGI Fridays.
Smart and cool.
If
Yeah.
you
I
get
went
sued,
to
you're
a
gonna
synagogue
be
when I was in
Jamaican
Jamaica.
Really?
Like,
I didn't
yeah,
know.
there was like 1 or 2 there or something, but or maybe just the one. I went with like my mom, and we were like, "Yeah, cool, Jewish shit, be here, cool, man."
Are there Jamaican Jews?
Yeah, probably Jamaicans. There has to be.
Oh, there must be some Jamaican.
Well, there's like a line that is similar from Judaism and Rastafarianism, something like that. There is a some commonality apparently, or something like that, like some shit. But I don't know.
Rastafarianism seems pretty tight. Like you could tell which Jamaican guys on the side of the road were Rasta men, and because they had the big fucking hat thing on, and they looked really dirty and high.
I bought a stick when I was there. I still have it.
Really?
It's like a walking stick, like a carved walking stick. It's like in my mom's house, like in my old bedroom. It's just there, like leaned up on my bed because for like I was just a thing I like swing and poke with and shit.
Dude, like were you on
sick? I was right.
for all like the scammers, like the because like this.
Oh
like,
yeah, I
as you're
went.
leaving the place. Yeah, they do that thing where they're like this one guy was like carving little things like these little like statues, pieces of shit. Well, it actually looked kind of cool, and he was like, "No, man, you take this right here," and I'm like, "I'm not gonna take that. Then you're gonna give me a second one that costs money," and then he was like,
"Well, what
"Are you
happened to
sure?"
me was I went and I saw like there was like a pipe there."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, like I'll get a pipe. There's a cool pipe." And I was like, "Can I get this pipe?" No, he had one. He was like, "Here." He's like, $5. And I was like, "No, that one there." And he was like, "Nah, that one's 20." And it was like way better, but it still looked like it was $5. Maybe he was like, "No, that one's 20." And I was okay, $10. And he was like, $10. Okay. And I'm like, cool. And then he goes and he puts it in the bag. And just because I was like excited right away, I took the bag as I'm giving the money and I pull it out and it's the $5 one. And I was like, "This is the $5 one." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Here, take 2." And he gave me 2. And I was like, "I didn't want that. I want the $10 back." And I'm like cracking up. It's funny. So I just left with the 2 pipes. And
dude, they scam the shit out of you. And like in your head, you're like, dude, some guy tries to scam me like I'm a rube. I'm going to not be involved. And then like they do it and you're like overcome by like almost like, oh God, your life is rough, man. Like,
well, that's why I said it to you when I was like, "You were a mark," because I've been to Jamaica.
Oh, for sure.
I've been a mark.
Oh, like the
like
weed
I
thing?
bought 2 pipes that I didn't want instead of the 1 pipe I did want,
Oh yeah, the weed thing, they were following me around but they were not following just me around. They were following everyone around. Everyone was high. Like the entire resort.
Really, I actually
weed.
like that. I like that a lot. Not that I have a honeymoon planned or anything or a marriage plan, but I like going to Jamaica and getting fucking high as hell for the honeymoon. And I like that better than drinking or anything. Like
I agree. They had like a little smoking area for cigarettes, and I watched this like fat fucking boomer guy, big belly, like didn't like one of
he
like,
was fat.
He was fat, big fat boomer. Looks like a Rush Limbaugh listener. And I was watching him like walk over to the smoking area.
Rush
I'm like,
Limbaugh listener.
He's probably gonna roast some like cigarette, and then he pulls out just an enormous joint and like by himself, this like boomer, like the Twitter boomer with the reflective sunglasses, just stands there and smokes it all by himself. It was a cool respect for boomers for that. I liked it. But yeah, it was a lot of overeating, and that was tremendous. Too. So yeah, had a great time.
That's great. I love the late night pizza ordering room service. That's a great move. Once like you're in a hotel on vacation, room service, like for me, like I'm about it. Every single decision, I'm like, we could find something that might be quite a bit better, or someone could bring us something, and I'm down with them bringing something.
Oh, for sure. Like, and it was part of it was the fun of like room service, neat. Like I never ordered.